Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad new Fangled motion picture show.
Hello, Internet. It is I, Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
And we just saw Atomic Blonde.
Yep.
So, as is tradition, we will do a spoiler-free review. Give you a big old spoiler warning, and then get more in-depth into it, because there's a pretty big ending in this to spoil.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, though, can we talk for just a second about how the Emoji Movie has a 6% rating on Rotten Tomatoes right now?
Yeah, that's about what I expect.
Oh, man, it's got a 1.5 out of 10 on IMDb, and IMDb is usually pretty generous.
And,
Especially compared to Rotten Tomatoes.
I like TJ Miller, and I want to do more animated stuff, because, when he lends his voice to things, it's usually pretty entertaining. But I just had no...
This movie
I had no desire to see that movie
This
whatsoever.
movie has Patrick Stewart in it.
Yeah, isn't he the poop?
Yeah. Doesn't having Patrick Stewart in your movie, automatically grant you, a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Well, no, that's why it has the 6% right now, I think. It'd be less without Patrick Stewart. I wonder how much of a role he plays, though. I mean, is he really that much?
I've seen a lot of things that say that Patrick Stewart is literally the only good thing about the movie.
Yeah, but that could be that one bathroom scene. Who knows?
It probably is. It's probably a throwaway joke. Dude, did you see the picture of him on the runway or the red carpet for the movie? Oh my god. Let me bring this up. If I can find this if I can find this picture, you can show it. But he just the whole time any smile he has looks super forced.
He doesn't really want to be there.
And he just has this look of I'm here because I have to be.
That one there?
Yeah, there was one that I saw that was even worse where he was next to TJ Miller.
Uh-huh.
And he just really doesn't look pleased. Of course, it's also probably really hot where they're at.
Yeah, it's probably LA, right?
Yeah.
And it's bright daytime too.
Yep.
It's not like a nighttime premiere.
Nope. Oh. It was this one.
TJ Miller's oh my god, he's like a lemon yellow suit. Oh, it's got emojis on it, doesn't it?
Yep.
I guess he dressed for the occasion.
Well, yeah, it's like you said, I like TJ Miller. So on the one hand, it sucks that a project he did is doing so poorly, but man, I'm kind of really happy that this movie's failing, because it would have been a travesty for American cinema if this movie was allowed to do well.
Any cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Dunkirk's sitting at a 93% fresh rating right now. All right, anyway.
Back to Atomic
Blonde. So, man, that was a good movie.
It was pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yep.
It earned its R rating.
Yeah.
Through not that much swearing, a little bit here and there, but nudity.
Nudity that could have been throwaway though.
The nudity could have been actually easily covered up.
Yeah, there was no. I mean, it wasn't gratuitous. I think all in all, there might be 5 seconds of nudity in the whole movie.
It was almost accidental in a way. It's they were doing it. A lot of it is kind of they were trying to cover it up, and then the camera slips and shows a nipple or something off the edge.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to show any of this, and it's just sort of almost felt accidental in a weird way. Then
man, there was
so much violence.
There is so much smoking in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! It should have come with a Surgeon General warning at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I don't think a single scene went by without someone lighting up a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of smoking, lots of violence.
Quite a bit of drinking.
Yep, lots of drinking. And yeah, plenty of blood.
Yeah.
And yeah, it pretty much earns that R rating though.
But Charlize Theron was pretty damn good in this movie, man. I mean, she did all of her own fights.
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty awesome.
Yep. And
so you know, I was asking you going into this. I was like, when did Charlize Theron become a badass, like a kick-ass action movie type?
Uh-huh.
You know, because she was Imperator Furiosa,
right,
and stuff. And I think it started with Aeon Flux.
Was that her?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought it was Mila Jovovich. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I didn't. Or
No, it was totally.
Oh, you know who?
Charlize Theron.
You know, it was at the same
time. Ultraviolet came
came out at the same time,
and they had like they had very similar like.
That's what that was. Yeah,
they had very similar looking styles. The characters had like the same haircut and the same outfit.
Right. Yeah, that's what that was.
Yeah, but I think going back, it started with Aeon Flux. But yeah, and there's a fight scene in this movie that's really well done. It's done to look like one continuous shot, like Birdman.
With if you know how things like that are done, you can tell where they're cut, but it's
basically
it's
anytime.
though.
Yeah, it's seamless. But basically, anytime there's a pan of the camera and there's a frame with no actors in it, that's where they cut it.
Mm-hmm. Or there's because it's not just a fight scene. It starts when they enter this building. There's this whole fight scene. They leave the building, and then there's a car chase scene after that, and that's all one continuous.
Yeah.
Cut. But you know when they like walk in and out of the building, it gets pitch black because there's like a little tunnel they go through.
Yeah.
And so you know there's one there. Yeah. But you know, if you know how they achieve that, then you know where the cuts are. But it's still seamless. You're not like gonna be able to pick them out. Like there's a cut. But
right. But I mean, yeah, it was really well done. I mean, it's just drawn out. I think the whole sequence was like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was like close to 10 minutes.
And like by the end of the fighting, Charlize Theron and the dude that's left, because there's a fight scene with several dudes, like not all at once, but like one after another, basically. By the end of it, like both her and that last dude just look so tired. Like they look as tired as you expect them to, and yeah, they're like having trouble staying standing, and it's just there's so many hits in this movie in general that were just like like people getting whacked with things, a lot of improvised weapons.
Mm-hmm. But it was a lot of fun. Good characters, good cast.
James McAvoy was amazing.
Yeah, James McAvoy's in it. John Goodman, who's always good in everything he does.
Yeah, I mean, Charlize Theron, James McAvoy, and John Goodman all being in a movie should be reason enough to see it.
Right. Even Sophia Bartella was okay.
I thought she was fine for what she was.
Yeah, I've yet to be impressed by her work, but she's never been, like,
bad. I think she was fine. I mean, she's very much so a supporting character in this.
Yeah.
And she was intended to be...
You get to see her boobs too.
Yeah, but
and I gotta say, I think they're nicer boobs than Charlize Theron's boobs.
But they, her character is really meant to be a like
supporting.
Well, not just supporting, but like an out of her element sort of character.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think her character was fine.
Yeah.
I gotta say one of my favorite characters. He was hardly in it. Was that Bill Skarsgård?
Oh, the guy was like her contact.
Her contact.
Came up with all the fake IDs and the papers and everything.
He was pretty cool. That's not a spoiler or anything.
No.
He's very briefly in it, but yeah, he's
yeah. But every time he's in it, he's pretty cool. But the like the big start, the soundtrack.
Oh man,
the way they use music is. Whenever there's music going on, it drowns everything out, right? Unless you need to hear something, then it'll cut back to like being really muffled so you can hear dialogue. Then it'll kick it back up.
Yep.
And then
the soundtrack itself, like just the
way they play with it, it's kind of weird. It's like sometimes it's like it's coming from the radio of the car they're in, because it'll be like super loud. Then it'll cut to outside the car and you can just barely hear it. And then you get close to the car and it gets louder. But then at the same time, it'll cut away to something and you're still and you're hearing it still loud where you shouldn't be able to if it actually were coming from the car.
Right.
And so this weird combination of making it coming from the radio,
like
but
making
not
it environmental, and while sometimes also just being
so they
overlaid.
play with the music a lot, and it's all 80s pop music.
Yeah, there's a lot of like Europop in there.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. The movie takes place in Berlin in the week leading up to the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, November 1989.
So, it's a really well done movie. If you're looking for like a real serious spy thriller,
this isn't it.
This isn't it. I mean, there's plenty of spy stuff in it that if you enjoy spy thrillers, you'll enjoy this movie.
Right.
But it's not Bridge of Spies.
Yeah.
And it's a very entertaining movie. The ending has a pretty good twist.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll get more into in the spoiler part.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was well done. Where did they get all those cars?
Yeah.
Are they still driving around in Budapest in those cars?
It was shot mostly in Budapest, and I mean, Budapest? Yeah, I could see them probably driving around a lot of those old Eastern Bloc cars.
Yeah, because there was a lot of like old Eastern Bloc cars. Although that chase scene where they get chased by several of those black SUVs, I think they probably only had the one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I liked the gunplay in the movie.
I think we should have a section just like where you just talk about the guns in the movie.
Yeah.
Since every movie you have something about guns you got to talk about.
Well, I don't have to say anything about it in this. The guns were all appropriate for what they were for, like the setting and the time period, and none of them had like the Hollywood Infinity clips or anything. Mags. Right. So it was, I had no problems with it. So, yeah.
Okay, so
there was that.
Yep. Spoiler warning.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right. So, let's see. What are we talking about in the spoilers?
The ending for sure.
The ending for sure. Okay, let's start with the ending. Start at the end.
Yeah. So the whole movie, like, has you sort of wondering who is the double agent.
Yeah.
And for a while, you're thinking maybe it's James McAvoy.
Basically, the MacGuffin of the movie is this list of every spy on both sides
that is in active service.
That is active.
Yeah.
And so both sides want it because they don't want their spies revealed, and they also want, information about the enemy spies. So everyone's after this list, and that's the MacGuffin. And so they're teasing, the whole movie there's a double agent. And so who is the double agent? And it kind of sets you up to think it might be James McAvoy.
For a while.
They
also have you wondering, is it Charlize Theron? And then they do something to make you think, no, there's no way it's Charlize Theron. And then, they do a lot to make you think it's James McAvoy. And
even
maybe even minute, Sophia Boutella.
Yeah, for a minute. Then you realize, no, she's not good enough. She's brand new to she's brand new to the spy game.
Right.
And that could have been an act, but then you realize, no, you find out, no, she is new and she is a lot of her element.
Yeah.
But yeah, then in the end you find out it is Charlize Theron. But
right, yeah, there's a big but because you're like, oh no, it's Charlize Theron. She's been feeding things to the enemy. Well, you find out she's been feeding fake tips to the enemy and using that position to get actual information from them for the CIA.
Yeah, and so she's playing. She works. You think she works for MI6.
Yep.
And she's actually playing MI6 too. And so she works for the CIA, but she's playing MI6 she's manipulating MI6 to do what the CIA wants it to do, and then she's manipulating the KGB to help bring down the Soviet Union. But ultimately she's CIA.
She gets on a plane at the end of the movie with John Goodman and has an American accent.
And there's this big CIA seal on the wall in the plane. Yeah, because John Goodman's the CIA.
Yep, and
guy.
then you hear the pilot say something about it's whatever hour flight to Langley. He says, "Let's go home," and she says, "That sounds good."
Yeah, with an American accent.
Yeah, with an American accent or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really great ending, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And but yeah, you were saying you think James McAvoy got a raw deal.
Yeah, because James McAvoy, he got a hold of the list and he saw Charlize Theron's name, whatever character's name is, I don't even remember.
They didn't.
Lorraine.
Yeah, they hardly ever brought it up.
Yeah, he saw her name on the list as Agent Satchel.
Which is the double
Which
agent.
is the double. They know the double agent is Agent Satchel. They didn't know which agent was Agent Satchel though.
Yeah.
So
and it was the East Germans who collected this list.
Right. So James McAvoy gets a hold of the list. From the the Soviet. It was a Soviet KGB agent who got a hold of the list, and then he went rogue and tried to sell it. But James McAvoy gets a hold of it by killing him off. And he sees her name on it, and so he arranges this whole thing to get her killed, thinking he's doing the right thing. Yeah. He's taking out the double agent.
Right, and he'll be a hero back at MI6. In the end, though, like Charlize Theron comes and kills him to cover up the fact that she's the double agent, sets it up to look like he's the double agent. And then in the end, yeah, she was the agent. She was actually a triple agent.
Right.
Still on the good guy's side, but not MI6, CIA.
Yeah, so it felt unfair to Percival.
Yeah, although that guy was a douche.
He was a douche, but in an entertaining way.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny how, he goes over to East Berlin with cartons of cigarette and bottles of Jack, and exchanges them with the locals to get information.
Yeah, he doesn't even do any spying himself.
No.
He just buys the information, with cigarettes and blue jeans.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah. So that was pretty amusing, I think. And yeah, I think also he was he saw the writing on the wall and figured that Berlin as it was coming to an end anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was, I think, unhappy about that situation. It was trying to keep the status quo a little bit.
Yeah.
As well.
Because his contacts within the KGB, he was saying things are going to change. We can help mitigate those changes. Because I don't think he didn't want it to end. That was the life he knew.
Yep.
And he didn't really want it to end. But everyone on the West, they kept saying they knew when the wall was coming down.
Yeah, there's a scene with John Goodman where they're on one of those towers on the west side of the wall where you could look over into the east, and he's saying he said something
take a picture.
Take a picture. Next week, this is going to be a whole different country.
Yeah, so they knew when it was happening. So it makes you think that, I'm sure the CIA knew that, or actually by this point, Reagan had already made his tear down this wall speech. But you get the feeling that they helped instigate pushing them that final step.
Yeah.
To do that. So yeah, it was there were some interesting parts, especially if you know history.
Yep.
If you know the Cold War. So it was pretty interesting. And overall it was pretty great.
It was a pretty amusing movie overall. That being said, the 7.2 that it has on IMDb is probably about fair.
Yeah, it's not a perfect movie. It was still a lot of fun. I would see it again, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have. It's not an award-winning movie.
No.
There's no great message or anything, but yeah.
Yep.
If you're looking for a movie to entertain you, this is a good pick.
Or if you just like go into the movies every weekend like we do, it's this or Emoji Movie. So
Yeah,
you know,
this is based off a comic called The Coldest City,
right?
which I have not read.
Published by Oni.
Yeah,
Which might be the first Oni comic turned into a movie. Usually Oni comics are based on movies or other, TV shows or whatever. Like they're the ones who published the Invader Zim comic, I think.
yeah, they are.
So it's technically a comic book movie, I guess. But yeah, so next weekend we have The Dark Tower.
Right, I'm kind of excited.
Wow, that movie's only 95 minutes.
Jesus,
What?
95 minutes.
Isn't each book like 800 pages?
Something like that.
Wow. That,
Well,
I kind of wish I hadn't seen that. And then there's not really anything the week after, so we'll probably it'll be like a 2-week gap, and then we'll be seeing Hitman's Bodyguard, which looks amazing. Super excited for that movie.
Yep.
But yeah, so be on the lookout for our Dark Tower review next week. I hope it's good, man, because it doesn't feel like they can do that movie justice in 95 minutes, or that book justice in 95 minutes.
No. Yeah. Well, we can get into that after we see it.
Yep.
Whether they do that or not. But yeah, that's about it. So sign off.
Yeah. Stream on Sunday
Yeah.
at some point. Yeah. Check out our other movie reviews, like the one for Dunkirk, because the movie's amazing.
Yeah.
And we're also over on Twitch as well. Streaming over there. Some stuff. So check that out as well. So until next time, farewell.
Bye.